Hi there, my name is Raquel. Thanks for watching. I want to thank all new and returning viewers. And today is Sunday, the 15th of October. And can I just say, we're halfway through October, and we're totally having an Indian summer here in Portugal. Temperatures got up to 30 degrees this week, Celsius. And as you can see, I'm still wearing t-shirts. I went out yesterday with the dogs around 11 o'clock or so. Went out in the t-shirt, forgot to take my jacket with me, not a problem, it was still nice and warm. And then this morning they woke me up at 6:30, so I went out with them again, and again, I did take my jacket this time, but it wasn't really necessary, it was still nice and warm. And I've just been outside with them now, and again, the sun is really warm, and I really don't know, like halfway through October. I've been at my, let's go back. I didn't podcast last week because I just didn't have the time at my parents' place. I did start filming a bit, but then I never got around to finish the filming, and so I just decided not to put anything up. So if you were looking forward to an episode last week, I'm sorry, but I did not get around to it. The reason being, like I said, I had a 4-day weekend, and I spent it at my parents' place, and usually I'd go like straight after the office on the Wednesday, because Thursday was a public holiday here in Portugal, and I had planned on going on the Wednesday evening, but Joana from Ovelha Negra, she had an all night long evening planned at the shop, so I went and enjoyed them, and so only went on Thursday morning to the farm. When I drove over on Thursday morning, it was so foggy. Even on the highway, for like most of the way, it was like really, really thick fog. I had about 75 to 100 meters visibility, but some points on the highway I had like less than that. I had about 25 meters visibility. So, it was slow going because it's dangerous driving. And believe it or not, there's so many people driving without any lights on at all. So yeah, on the highway, there's lighting some places, not all places, and then when I get out of the highway, there's like this road I have to follow, and it's like a really curvy road. It's like you zigzag all over the place. That's the worst place where they can come like with no headlights on, because there's hardly any street lamps on that road. But yeah, I got there safely. I woke up here. I left here around 8 o'clock, which is usually the time I leave for the office. I just packed all the pets in the car, all my stuff in the car, which I'd already prepared the evening before, and got to my parents' place around 9 o'clock. Yeah, and then went to do some grocery shopping with my parents, because there was like a special deal on certain products at the grocery store we usually go to. And then in the afternoon I started sewing with my mom. I decided to make the sorbetto top from I'll put the link in the show notes because I can't remember where it's from. It's a free pattern, I know that. It's a free download. I just can't remember which company it's from, so I'll put that in the link. And I don't actually have it here to show you. Rusty? Okay. There's noise activity in the hallway, so he's gonna start barking. Anyway, so I spent the rest of the Thursday afternoon up in my mom's craft room, sewing, cutting out the pattern pieces and sewing, and then I finished the top Friday afternoon. My mom did the hand sewing around the edges of the shirt. I sewed it down with the machine, and then the bias binding, and my mom sewed it down by hand on the top, and then around the sleeve holes and on the bottom. And I'll see if I can remember to bring it next week to show you. It's over there in my room, but I don't feel like I'm going to get it right now. So I'll show. I'll maybe put in a photo or something if I have one. So yeah, that's why I didn't really get around to. So yeah, that's 2 days of my long weekend, and then Saturday was like just the regular stuff, and then I went chestnut picking with my dad on Saturday and on Sunday, and then Sunday I had to drive home to be at home, like you know, to avoid traffic on Monday morning getting into the office. And besides that, I'd have to leave the dogs first, so I prefer to have them home already on the Sunday evening. Rusty's not come to lie down next to me. So yeah, that's why I didn't get around to really doing the podcast. I just ran out of time. And you know, there's always little things to be done and you know, stuff like that. So that's the reason. And by the way, my parents now have 3 turtles or river coots to care for. So yeah, I was out looking at them, and I have some video. I'll see if I can insert it at the end. Yeah, at the end of the episode. And then, so whatever, I've got 3 finished objects for you. These are my 3 finished objects, 3 pairs of socks. So yeah, it's not bad. In 15, half the month gone, and I've done 3 pairs of socks. Not too bad. Probably could have done a bit more, but like I said, I didn't have that much knitting time over the weekend, last weekend, and during the week I don't get that much knitting time. So let's start with the first pair of socks. These are the Grand Central socks by Mina Phillip she's the knitting expat, and all the socks I'm going to be showing you are from her New York collection, and they came out throughout the year, but I only started knitting them now. So this is the first one, the Grand Central. The Grand Central, and I used contrasting cuffs and heels, and I didn't do the toe because I still had plenty of yarn from the main color. So the contrasting color is the Hertogarn Sock 4, which is the 75-25 blend, and then the main color I used was Miss Babs Hot Shot Toes, which I got from a friend who's currently living in New York, and she gifted me this last year. And this is in the Moonlight Stroll colorway. This is just a light gray. Now, when I started knitting the cuff, because of the patterning, I didn't know if it was going to be stretchy enough. I did a larger stitch count, or did I? No, I did not. I did 64 stitch count throughout the whole sock. But the next pair of socks, I'll show you that I did use a larger stitch count on the cuff and the leg. So this is quite a stretchy stitch count, but as I was starting the cuff, the Hertogarn is quite a bit thinner than the main color, than the Miss Babs. So what I did was I knit the cuff, just single, you know, just the one strand of the yarn, and then I started knitting the Miss Babs. And when I got to the heel, I decided to double up the yarn. First, because it'll make it sturdier. And, sorry, I'm going to have to go get a drink. I'll be back. Okay, so, sorry about that. I was talking about the heel. I did the heel and you can hardly see the difference, but like that you can see there's a difference between the heel and the main color. So I did the heel doubling up the yarn because the yarn was thinner, and I know it's a place that I wear out a lot quicker than the rest of the sock, so it's sturdier this way. And then I just finished the sock the rest of the way, and I still have some yarn left over, which is here. I can show you. I have these 2 little things left over. Each skein of Miss Babs is like anywhere between 38 to 40 grams. So I wasn't sure I had enough yarn to finish 1 pair of socks, and that's why I used the contrasting heels and cuff. So here's my there, finished pair. And I really like the Miss Babs. The Miss Babs is an 80-20 mix, so 80% merino, 20% nylon. And I really like the twist on the yarn. It was really nice to knit with. It's just a shame I really can't get my hands on that readily here in Portugal. I think, yeah, we'll see how it works. I'll definitely be more careful wearing these, and I might hand wash these instead of putting these in the machine. Only because there's a lot of blue, and I don't think my hand actually stained when I was knitting these. But yeah, I think the first time I'll wash these by hand just to make sure that they don't bleed, that the color doesn't bleed. So then I finished those on the Wednesday while I was at the knit night, and then I didn't actually have. Did I take the? No, I didn't take the yarn to start the next pair of socks, which was okay. You know, I enjoyed sitting there chatting and everything with my friends. Then on Thursday, like I said, I did most of the. I had a busy day, so I only picked up the second pair of socks, which are the Avenues, in the evening. So I only got the cuff done, and for this one, and here's the second sock, just in case. For this one, I did the ribbing, and I used Yarn Adventures by Filomena in the club colorway for last year when they did the sock club. And so it's like a whole bunch of like a rusty colored with blue and everything. I really love this color actually. It's quite nice. And now this yarn did bleed a little bit, but you know, I'm used to that. It's okay. I know with washing that it doesn't actually bleed out a lot. So for this one, because of this pattern, it wasn't as it's not a very it's actually yeah it's not a very stretchy pattern because of the pattern. It's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to give it basically it's slip stitches, but yeah, so having a lot of slip stitches makes the sock not as stretchy, so I went up to the largest size and I did 76 stitches, which is a lot more stitches than I usually do. But I did that for the whole, that's why I made the leg portion slightly longer, because with 76 stitches I could do it a lot longer. And then coming to the bottom, before the heel, I did about, not quite an inch, maybe 2 centimeters, not even, I think maybe 1.5 centimeters of just plain stockinette. And I actually had this section a lot longer. I had it up to about here. But like I said, I used a lot more stitches on the sock, and when I tried it on, I was almost finishing off the sock. When I decided to try it on, it just kept sliding off my foot like this because of the stockinette section. So unfortunately I had to rip it all the way back to just before where I started the stockinette, and then I knit it with less stockinette in the back. I decided to try the German short reel in garter stitch instead, so just basically knit all the rows. I quite liked how it turned out. Just this is the one side and then this is the other side, so I didn't like these ridges. I did do the socks identical though, but on the next pair of socks I'll show you I did something else to have it all come out nicely like this, so that these ridges I showed, so these ridges are now all on the inside on the other pair of socks. So yeah, having had a larger stitch count, and then you know I always pick up 2 extra stitches here when I join back in the round, I decreased down to my usual 64 stitches and then completed the sock. And I finished these, I think maybe Monday. I had the first sock done by Sunday probably, and I got almost the whole sock, almost the whole second sock done on Sunday, but I think I had maybe just the toe done, but it was really like close to midnight and I needed to get some sleep, so I decided to go to bed. I did the responsible thing and I went to bed and finished the sock the next day. So then I started the other socks, which are the Union Square socks. And for this one I used, again, I think I bought this yarn from Donna Maria Rosario, or it was the club colorway. I can't remember. I think this is a self-striping that I bought, and the club colorway is another one that I'll be using in a future pair of socks. So for this one, again, I did a larger cuff and leg, and on this one I forgot to stop the patterning about an inch before the heel, but it's a kind of ribbed pattern, so I don't think it's too much of a problem. On the second sock I did do just, as you can see, I just did plain ribbing here at the bottom. So again, I decreased down to my 64 stitches, and I finished these yesterday. And again, I did the garter stitch German short heel, and see, there's no ridges here, there's no ridges on the side, so the ridges are on the inside. So yeah, these are the 3 finished socks that I did in these 2 weeks, and I have another 4 pairs to go if I want to. My goal was to do the whole collection, the whole New York collection, during this month. So I did start yesterday. I finished those yesterday, and I started yesterday, and I did the cuff for the 4th one, which is the Union Square socks. And so I did the cuff, so just the plain ribbing. I did the cuff yesterday, and this is what I just did this morning before podcasting. So I think these are going to be quick. This is 4 repeats of the pattern. I'm going to do another 4 repeats and then just do the regular German short row heel. Again, I'm using a larger stitch count here. It is ribbing, it does stretch a bit more, but gives it a bit more, it's just a bit more comfortable. So I might start doing that with just plain vanilla socks as well. We'll see. Although maybe not, because then they'll be too loose. Yeah, we'll see. If there's patterning, I might go up a needle, might go up stitch count in the leg and then go down to the 64 stitches for the foot, which fits me perfectly. So, like I said, this is the 4th pair. I'm using Hertigarn sock 4. Again, this is a beige color, and yeah, that is it for my knitting this week. But I did go yesterday. I met up with a couple of friends, and then we went over to another friend of ours who recently had a baby, and I handed over all the baby gifts that I'd made, like the antler cardigan, the hat, the other antler hat that I did in pink for the sister, and I had some gifts for the mom as well, and then I had some gifts for the 2 other friends that I met up with to go over to her house. So I handed over their gifts, and they, yeah, I got some gifts in return as well. So one of those friends that I met up with, she went to Berlin Knits, which was the 30th of September and the 1st of October, and I wasn't able to go. I would have loved to have gone, but you know, wasn't able to go. So I'll go in the future probably, or at least that's what I plan to do. But yeah, so I wasn't able to go, and she brought some little souvenirs back from. So she went over, or Yarn Over Berlin, which is a shop in Berlin. They were there, so she got this postcard, and then she brought me back yarn, which is Frieda Fuchs hand-dyed yarns from Berlin, and this is a mini Fuchse in her Remi Demi sock, and this is 75% BFL, 25% nylon, 20 grams, 85 meters in fingering weight, and this is the Etna colorway. So it's a lovely blue color. Apparently what my friend did, she bought like a whole set of minis, and in the, to distribute between other friends and stuff. So Thank you. You know who you are. Um, and feels really nice. So there's 20 grams in here. I could maybe use it. I'm actually thinking maybe using it as a contrast heel for this one, or for some other yarn I have here. Might go with this one. And then the leftovers I'll go into my pinwheel blankets. With 20 grams, I think I can get at least like the cuff. Maybe I'll just do a cuff and a heel, and then not the toe, just so I have enough to go into my blanket. And BFL supposedly is a lot more hard wearing than merino, so I'm not worried about it being in the socks. And there's nylon in here anyway. So, and then I also got another pair. Got some more DPNs. These are 3mm rosewood double pointed needles. I already got in a set in a different size, so 3mm are handy. And then from my other friend, a nice little package like this, I got a lovely shawl pin. I got this lovely shawl pin, so you just take it out, put it in your shawl, and then pin it in there. And it's really nice. It's like in a brass type of a brass finishing, and it's like a branch with a little bird on there. You can see the little bird there. So it's really cute. So now I have something to pin my shawls on so they won't fall off. And that's it basically for today. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of photos to edit. I have the podcast to edit. I want to finish at least one sock today, and 2 doggies that eventually will want to be going outside again. They're all asleep at the moment. Rusty is lying against the window over there. Dakota is in her place. I just called his name and he's just like looked up. Dakota is under the table, and Soot is most likely on top of the washing machine, which is where he likes to spend his days. So I'm gonna check on them, and I'll try and insert some video of the river coots that I took. They were from a lady living in Coimbra who had no more space for them inside the house. She bought them as the little ones you buy at the pet store, which are about 5 centimeters long, and now they're like bigger than my hand. There's 3 of them. So she wanted to give them away to someone who had like maybe space in the garden, so my parents took them. We can't put them in the pond with the fish because they'll eat the fish. They are omnivorous, so they eat fish and vegetables and vegetable matter, but they're not really used to eating vegetable matter at the moment. They've been fed with just the food that you buy at the pet store. So we're trying to introduce them to vegetables like cabbage, that kind of thing, just green leaves, so vegetables, salad, lettuce, that kind of thing, which my parents grow on the farm anyway, so that's easy to feed them. And they've got their own little pond area. Also, they were indoor river coots, so they're getting acclimated to being outside, which is on the one hand it's good that we still have warm weather, but on the other hand they're supposed to start hibernating soon, and if this weather continues they might not. We'll see. At least they're outside, they're acclimating to the outside life. Hopefully soon they'll start eating the green matter instead of only just the pet food. Rusty's little sister Zada is completely obsessed by them. She will not leave them alone, and you'll see that in the video I'll upload. She just sticks her head by my dad had to put fencing around it and on top, because otherwise they actually climb the rocks that are there. Like basically they're underneath the fig tree, and there used to be like a big tank, which was like where people used to do laundry and all that thing, but it got demolished in the build of the house, and the idea was to rebuild it and make like a swimming pool area over there, but instead now it's just it was until my dad transformed it into the house, or the living area for the Rivicutes. It was just a place where we had other plants and everything. So, but there's like maybe half a meter to 60 centimeters of just rocks piled up, and they climbed out of that before my dad put up the fencing. So you'll see in the video I tried to take video between like the fence, between the it's like those plastic fencing kind of thing, and we had to cover it on top because of all the leaves falling from the tree, from the fig tree. So, and like I said, Zara wants to go outside to just go and sit and stare at these Rivicutes. Sometimes they're outside, sometimes they're in the water. They have a little pool area. They have plenty of space to walk around on. So yeah, there's new animals at the farm, and shortly there might be some more animals at the farm. But when we get them, if we get them, I'll let you know, and I'll show you some video of that. So for now, I'm gonna go. Like I said, I still have plenty of things to do for today, and I want to relax a bit as well, so I'll let you go. Have a nice weekend, or have a nice day whenever it is you're watching, and I'll be back next week. Bye.
Quer? Quer ir papar? esperar. 2 minutos. Pois então é que eu me espero toda. Cito. 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 Queres papar? É?